Hello yogis, Jess here. This following practice is a practice to open up through the heart space, through the chest, and potentially eventually getting to a wheel shape. Now, this isn't a necessary part of the practice. You can modify your back bend. Just wanted to do this little intro as a bit of just a caution or a warning. If you do have any lower back injuries or quite sensitive in the back area, that maybe this practice, take it a little more gentle, knowing you don't have to do every single thing that's in this video. But enjoy, have some fun. Yoga practice, not yoga perfect. Coming to start on your back, coming to lie down. The feet are on the floor, knees pointing towards the ceiling. And pressing the feet into the earth, creating a little bit of space between your hips and your ankles. And taking a moment to breathe here, welcome yourself to this space. And your hands are pressing down into the mat beside you. And on a breath in, gently lift your hips towards the sky, starting with some rolling bridges. Exhale, rolling down. Breathing in, lifting. Breath out, reconnecting the back with the mat. Inhale, rising, keeping the knees pointing forwards and rolling back down. Lifting and rolling back. One more time, rising. And just holding here before lowering all the way back down to the mat, and then beginning to hug the knees into the chest and finding a way up to a seat. You might want to give yourself a little rock and roll here, or just find your way by rolling to one side and coming up to a seated position. Coming to sit with your legs crossed, hands to the knees. Inhale, begin to open up through the chest, the seated cat-cow movement. Exhale. Concave through the belly, broaden the shoulders. Opening the heart on a breath in, curling in on a breath out. Doing this one more time, opening and curling in. Coming back to the center, taking your right hand down beside you and taking a little side stretch here. Left arm can reach overhead. Being mindful with the neck here. Taking your gaze down, starting to sweep down the left arm in front of you, swapping over sides. Left hand now reaches down, right arm reaches. And taking this circle motion twice more, once on either side, sweeping around, opening through the heart, through the chest. And then finding your way back to a seat and interlacing the fingers behind your back and starting to broaden through the heart, squeezing the shoulder blades together. And then releasing through the fingers, taking the arms up and over, bending through the right elbow and reaching to catch hold of that elbow with the left hand, pressing the palm of the right hand into the shoulder blades. And then swapping over sides. Left elbow faces towards the ceiling, right hand grabs hold. And then overhead, you can take a little hold of both elbows before reaching and taking the arms down. A little bit of brain training here with the arms, lifting the arms to the sky. Taking the right arm forward as the left arm comes back. So almost a little windmill movement here. Doing this twice more before coming back. Left arm forward, right arm back. Little bit of rotation through the shoulders. Doing this twice and then finding your way up and over. I'm going to come to a downward facing dog. And coming to settle at the back of your mat, spreading the fingers wide, feet about hip width apart. And then taking a little bend through the knees, stretching through the toes, through the backs of the legs. Pausing to feel into any sensations. And then settling into your downward facing dog, preparing for a little bit of movement. Rising high to the toes and rolling forwards into a modified upward facing dog. Hinging at the hips, rolling back, downward facing dog. Inhale rolls you forward, open the chest, open the hips. Pressing into the toes, reaching back. Doing this once more, rolls forward. This modified up dog. Toes still pressing before flipping the tops of the feet over, still opening through the heart, and then rolling your way back again, downward facing dog. And taking a bend through the knees, looking forwards and walking or stepping towards the top of the mat. Coming to a forward fold, maybe reaching to grab hold of the elbows here, coming to a ragdoll shape. Little sway side to side before releasing, hands come down. Inhale for a halfway lift and folding back. Once more, halfway up, folding forwards. And taking a bend in the knees as you start to rise to standing. Maybe a little back bend comes in here as the hands stay connected to the heart space, rolling forwards, forward fold, halfway lift. Stepping back with the right knee, untuck toes, coming to Anjaneyasana, your low lunge shape. Arms reaching to the sky, soft through the shoulders, opening. Taking a breath in, lifting. And as you exhale, begin to turn towards the left side of the room. Right palm, outer edge of the right hand, hooks around the left knee. Left arm reaches towards the back and then down and connects with the back of the right thigh. Right arm reaches overhead. And then bringing both arms back to the center before turning over to the right. Right hand connects with back of right thigh. Left arm reaches. Bit of an open twist here. Hands come back to the center, coming down to frame the front foot, coming back to a plank shape. Strong through the shoulders, pressing the hands away before lowering down knees, chest and chin. Ashtangasana. Rolling away forwards through your back bend, maybe an upward facing dog. And then untucking toes, coming back to your downward facing dog. Bending through the knees, looking forwards, stepping or walking your way to the top of the mat. Inhale for a halfway lift, folding forwards, breath out. Reaching to the sky on your inhale, and on your exhale, beginning to come all the way back down through the heart space. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold forwards and start to step back with the left foot this time, lower down left knee. Deep bend in the right knee, Anjaneyasana. Pausing here for a moment. And then starting to inhale, lift a little higher. Start to turn the chest towards the right side of the room. Left hand hooks around right knee. Right arm reaches towards the back. And coming to open through the front of the body once again. The right hand will connect with the back of the left thigh. Left arm reaches overhead, keeping the gaze down for balance here. And as both arms reach up towards the middle, coming to frame the front foot, stepping your way back to a high plank shape. An optional vinyasa flow here. Lower down knees, chest and chin. And for drawing your way forwards, baby cobra or your upward facing dog. And then rolling your way back to a downward facing dog. Deep breath in here, big breath out. And start to roll your weight forwards, lower down knees, coming to a child shape, reaching the arms forwards, and then starting to come back to sit on your heels, drawing the knees a little wider, coming through some rolling camel shapes here, taking the right hand behind you, lifting the left arm to the sky. And then starting to press into the knees and opening the hips. So coming to a bit of a half camel shape here. And then like we did at the start with the seated rolls, sweeping the front arm down, coming over to the left. And doing a couple more rounds of these in your own time, bit of free form movement here. Chance to open up through the front of the body. And then when you're ready, starting to come back down, sliding onto your bottom. And then rolling down and coming down onto your back. Just maybe adjusting yourself on your mat so you've got plenty of room around you. And then coming back like we were at the very beginning, with the knees pointing towards the ceiling, heels settling under the hips, and taking a breath, start to lift the hips towards the sky into your bridge shape. You might keep the arms as they are, or maybe even rolling a little onto the shoulder blades and interlacing the fingers behind the back. And the option, you can stay exactly as you are, or maybe starting to walk the feet in a little closer towards the hands, maybe high up on the tiptoes, pressing down into the left foot as the right leg might start to lift towards the sky. Little balance here, drawing down that right foot, pressing now into the right ball of the foot as the left leg starts to lift towards the sky. Keeping the hips nice and high, returning the feet to the ground, releasing the hands and releasing the back. And just taking a moment to settle with the hips. And then here's the option to either take one of the shapes that we just did, or if you'd like to come into your wheel shape, taking the hands beside the ears and starting to lift and press the hips up towards the sky, opening up through the chest. And if you're quite comfy here in your wheel, you can stay as you are, or maybe take that option of starting to press into the left foot. Right leg can start to lift towards the sky. Gently bringing it back down. Weight starts to come into the right foot. Left foot starts to lift towards the sky, straightening through that foot, through the leg, and then landing it back down to the mat, bending through the knees, head, shoulders, back come down. And then letting the arms settle by your sides, taking the feet out as wide as the mat and starting to knock the knees from side to side. Almost a little windscreen wiper here of the knees, releasing any tension from the back. And then as the knees start to travel over to the right side, you can let them stay there. Maybe take the right heel on top of the left knee, adding a little more sensation maybe to the front of the left thigh. And starting to slow things down, breathing into this space, before letting the knees come back to center and letting them float over to the left side now. And again, maybe just letting them stay as they are, or the left heel might hover on top of the right knee. You might notice an increased sensation through the front of the body here as you let the breath start to soften a little more. And then coming to our Shavasana. Today, keeping the feet nice and wide, and just let the knees knock in towards one another. So almost creating a little tent-like shape with your knees. And the palms can be open. And just letting your body soak in all your practice. Start to lift the knees in towards the chest. You can cross one ankle over the other. Give yourself a little hug, maybe a little quick rock from side to side. And then start to rock and roll your way up, or simply come over in your way up to a seat. Taking a little roll of the head as you arrive. And then big inhale, lift the arms to the sky, connecting the hands, bringing them to your heart space. Namaste.